Starting early today. Starting early. I gotta get my watch on because I'm coming live to you on TikTok. TikTok does not show the time when you're going live. Hey, any great creators out there for TikTok? Put a little time function. I know I'd appreciate it. I know other social media platforms do it. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Donnie. Good morning, Pineapple. Good morning, David McKay. Chunky Monkey. Lynn Marie. Vanessa. Gary. Paw Patrol. Tammy. Jeff. David. Andy, all these fun names. Some of them I actually remember a little bit. Some I actually remember a little bit. Some I don't. But either way, I appreciate you all hopping on at this early hour. And good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Saturday morning. It is July 27th. It is just about 5:15 a.m. my time. I'm coming at you from Billings, Montana, and I am riding a scooter back from Yellowstone to Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. I've been working the last couple months in Yellowstone as a waiter at a restaurant in Mammoth Hot Springs. Chugger asked if I'm still married. No, I'm not. But anyway, I've been working the last couple months in Yellowstone as a waiter at a fairly nice restaurant as far as Yellowstone restaurants go. And took that job, needed to go get it and find some... there's a bunch of reasons I went there. And I worked there for 2 months. I have 4 beautiful children that I miss a ton, and decided I'd been there long enough, and the reasons I went there I'd achieved, and decided a week or two ago that I was going to head back across the country and go see my babies and go be with my friends and family that live in the western suburbs of Chicago. Abe wants to know, how is Montana? He always wanted to move there. I think Montana's got some really neat areas. I'll tell you what, I was in Bozeman for a couple weekends during my trip to Yellowstone, and I thought Bozeman was a really, really neat town. I tell you what, there's huge expanses of land with no people in them, and I'm riding a scooter across the country. Well, hold on, before I get to all that, or maybe I should get to all that. I don't know. I want to have my first sip of coffee. I've been doing this show for quite some time, and just over 5 years, and I hop on live almost every morning, and the last couple days, I've been alternating between TikTok and another social media platform. I have a lot of fun doing it. I don't know, seem to have a lot of things to say in the morning, and my mind bounces around a lot. And I started this show as kind of therapy for me 5 years ago, and realized talking about my stuff usually made me feel a little better and honestly calmed my mind a little bit down. So anyway, for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot, what do they call this? Somebody called it a tumbler. I could call it a thermos, but I'd almost like to call it a mug. One of my viewers on a different social media platform sent it to me while I was in Yellowstone, and it was really sweet of them. And it keeps my coffee hot or my cold drinks cold for hours at a time. And I am looking forward to having my first sip this morning. And hold on here, I gotta get rid of something. Get that out of here. I don't know what that means. But I'm looking forward to having my first sip at this early hour, and my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. pretty good. It's pretty good. I was skeptical about it, honestly. I said I'm staying in Billings, Montana. I'm riding across the country and looking for a bed to sleep in, and if they have Wi-Fi and cable, more power to them. So I'm staying in, I'll tell you, one of the more economical hotels in Billings, Montana. At least the one that could come that came up on uh, what's the app? What's the app? There's an app. Find hotels at discounted rates that day. But either way, staying in an economical hotel in Billings, Montana, and was somewhat skeptical of the coffee. And like a lot of things, if you let your skepticism run wild and your imagination run wild, your mind kind of controls your attitude and your thoughts and your day. And I don't know, coffee's kind of nice, so let's have another sip. Oh, it's actually good. You learn a lot of lessons on the road, and you learn a lot of lessons if you keep your eyes open as you go through life. And again, there was issues with the hotel. It's certainly not pretty to look at from the outside, and there was work being done in the halls, and there was but the room's clean, bed's fine, slept in it, and my night went well. And I just think about how easy it is for us to let our minds focus on the bad things or the I don't know, patchwork on the hall wall or the things that need fixed and the things that could be better about our surroundings, whether they're at home with you or back home in Chicago or in this hotel room in Billings, Montana. And if our attitude's a little better, I'll tell you what, life goes so much better. And I think we get reminders about that along the way. And it's something you need to focus on and practice doing and keep getting better at. Because I'll tell you what, I've been doing the show for 5 years. I talk about gratitude and prayer and faith and all this stuff. But I wake up, I've got a little bit of a cold, I got a long ride ahead of me, I'm staying in a economical hotel in Montana. It's easy to focus on the imperfections that come at us every day. But I'll promise you, life's a lot more fun, and you go through life with a bigger smile if you focus on the good things. And no matter where you are, I promise you there's good things going on. And I think a lot of us think, oh, it's easy to be grateful if you're rich and got a fancy car and a nice house and a beautiful wife and kids. I think that's the easiest time to take your blessings for granted. Or I think it's more important to think about your blessings when you're staying in a cheap hotel, when you have a cold, when you wish you could have slept a little better, when you still got 1,150 miles to get home. That's when it's most important. And I tell you what, it's done an amazing job of rallying my spirits along the journey that is life over the last 5+ years. And I think I let my mind go to the negative and think about what I didn't have or what I wanted or what time of the day it was or how comfortable my bed was or the condition of the hotel I'm staying in and focus on the negatives too much. I'll tell you what, life's just better if you don't. That's my tip to you for the day. So have a little more coffee. Vegas hotel coffee. It's kind of funny. They call it the Vegas Hotel. I don't really have any idea why, other than there's some kind of gaudy carpeting in the throughout the halls, and there's pictures of Las Vegas on the wall. But I'm in Billings, Montana, and they're trying to catch that Vegas vibe. I don't know that it's working, but it's making me laugh in the morning. So let's have a little more coffee. Somebody asked how Montana was. I think Montana's a really neat state. Again, I've been staying in Yellowstone for the last couple months, working a lot of hours as a waiter, and we'd get 2 days off a week. Hello, Taurus. We would get 2 days off a week, and anytime I had free time, I'd get out of Yellowstone. I think a lot of people, and even me, probably glorified the thought of living in Yellowstone while I was back in Chicago planning my move. I think it's hard living in the national parks, and it's certainly not for everybody, um, because I don't know, they're great places to visit, and they're set up for tourists, and they're set up, uh, yeah, there's no options and no people and no community feeling. And I tell you what, just driving through Montana, I left Wyoming at about 10 o'clock yesterday and pulled into a small town in Montana called Big Timber, Montana. And pulled into a gas station, asked one of the guys, there was a coffee sign on the gas station. I was looking for a little bit more. One thing that's neat about riding across the country is your ability to stop along the way and experience small towns and have little mini adventures while you're going. So a guy in the gas station pump next to me said, "Hey, you see that red building down there? That's a coffee shop. It's pretty good." And decided I didn't want gas station coffee and rode down just down the way to this cute little red building in Big Timber, Montana called the Coffee Stop. And it was the cutest little coffee shop, had two nice looking young people working there. Uh, and, you know, pleasantly crowded, especially for a small town in Montana, and nice coffee and nice people. And it was just a great kind of start to my trip, if you will. And again, one of the neat things about riding across the country is you experience it in ways totally different than you would on a car. Um, I'm riding a scooter. I don't want to ride interstates. I think I know my bike is highway legal, but my driving capability isn't highway capable. And so on MapQuest, I ask for roads that avoid tolls and highways. Yesterday on my ride from Livingston, Montana to Billings, uh, I'm hearing a voice in my earbuds as I'm riding along saying, go 2 miles and then take a right on country grade road or county grade road. And I'm going, okay, just following along. And when I take a right, I'm going, it's kind of gravelly here. And it goes in, go straight for 29 miles. I'm going, and the gravel turns to dirt, turns to more gravel, turns to potholes, turns to rocks, turns to things my scooter was not meant for riding on. And I'm about 5 miles in, and I'm going, crap, I don't know if I'm going to make it or if I'm going to crash, because, you don't want to be driving on a lot of gravel when you're on a street bike. Wheels slip out from under you, you crash, and this is the most barren place I've ever been. Riding 20 miles down this gravel path, and nobody, no houses, no anything except cows to keep me company. It was so barren, I pulled into the middle of the road and shot a video yesterday and kind of walked around and looked back and looked forward, and it's just amazing. Montana's a big state with a small population. I think it's neat in a lot of aspects. I think the people are probably cool. I think I'd align with the politics, kind of a live and let live sort of spirit here, kind of a Western spirit with some cold weather. I think I'd like it a lot. There's a town I stayed in a couple times called, like I said, Bozeman, Montana, that I think was really, really neat. And it's surrounded by mountains, and it has all the things you like, or things I like, growing up in the western suburbs. Choices of restaurants, Starbucks, bars, a college that's there. So I think Montana's really neat. Depending on what you're looking for, you could live off in the quietest, most lacking humans location you've ever been, I promise you. Because it's a big state, and it's got a really small population, and that means vast swaths of land have nobody in them. And a couple times yesterday it was pretty scary. Again, going on these rocky, gravelly roads. And it felt good. I cannot tell you how happy I was when I came across a stretch of pavement and go, my bike will be okay. Kudos to the Suzuki company for putting together great machines like the one that I've ridden about 5,000 miles on already this year, across the country and part of the way back, all over Yellowstone on different types of roads and different types of conditions. And that thing doesn't complain at all, just keeps going. It's a great machine. So here's to my scooter. I hear some festivities out in the hall. I don't know what kind of festivities one might be having at 5:30 in the morning in Billings, Montana, in the Vegas motel. But it sounded like somebody was coming home from a wild night. I don't know. I don't know what's to do in Billings, Montana. I don't plan to be here too long. Apparently, it's a pretty big city. Somebody in Big Timber told me it's got about 100,000 people. I don't know if that's true or not. There were several hotels to choose from. I'm sure there's probably neat things, and I'm sure I'm not going to give it the time that it's probably worth. I have all these nice things to say about Bozeman. Billings could be a great city too, but I'm not going to experience it that much because I got a long ride ahead of me. I got 1,152 miles to get to my destination in the suburbs outside of Chicago. And I woke this morning really early before 5 o'clock. Been fighting a cold the last few days and have one still today. And honestly, my dream in a perfect situation, because you guys want to know what my perfect situation is. Once I wrap up this coffee show, is to drift back off to sleep for another hour or so, because I got a long day ahead of me. And a lot of riding, a lot of adventures, a lot of people to meet, and a lot of distance to cover. And kind of excited about it because I had a great ride yesterday. It was fun hitting new highway and new paths that I hadn't gone before. There's two ways to go back from Yellowstone to the Chicago area. You can go up north through Montana, or you can go down south through Wyoming and Nebraska. And I'd never driven through the heart of Montana, and I've never been to South Dakota. So I took a chance, tried something new, and went north, and have experienced different places in Montana. And I'm excited that I'll be pulling into South Dakota at some point later today on my ride. About 300 miles from here is this town of Sturgis. Sturgis is a famous town for their motorcycle rally that I think is happening 1 week from right now. A little nervous about that, a little afraid about that. As a matter of fact, I woke this morning with various fears and nervousnesses bouncing through my head, and a little voice. I like to think it was God telling me, "Do not fear." And I cannot tell you how much it soothed everything. Soothed everything. Because I'm a guy that's been kind of controlled by fear and afraid of his own shadow. Not the way you guys might think about it, but just worried about everything. And I can tell it's not just me that worries about a lot. Because I'll get many messages, cautionary messages. Be careful of this, be careful of that. Make sure you do this, don't do that. From people who watch my show. So it can't be just me that struggles with fear and worry. It's got to be a lot of us. And I'll tell you what, I'm not telling you to take silly risks, but worrying about everything that could go wrong and might go wrong but probably won't go wrong is just not a productive use of time. It's just not a productive use of time. And I caught myself, and the one great thing about this show for me is I still have the same issues. But I catch them now, and I catch myself laying in bed going, oh crap, am I going to have enough money to make it back? Oh yeah, am I going to be able to find a hotel? Is it going to be crowded in Sturgis? Is there going to be coffee in the lobby? Is the guy going to refund my deposit? The hot water going to work in the bathtub? Am I going to be able to go back to sleep? Your mind just can go, whoosh, I know mine can. And imagining everything that could go wrong and trying to come up with solutions of things that probably won't even happen. And again, a voice inside my head said, do not fear. And it gave me so much confidence and made me feel so good and made me get out of bed and get started at an early hour and walk down the hall and see patchwork and see some yucky stuff on the carpet. And I caught myself focusing in on that, and I realized, hey, I got a roof over my head. I'm on my way home. I hope to have coffee in the lobby. Uh, there's going to be stories to tell from this. And again, there's just ways that I've realized to turn my attitude around. And that's kind of what this show is, because I think you need reminders, and the struggles are always going to be there, and the temptations are always going to be there, and the bad thoughts or the worry or the fear or the negativity is, you know, still back there. It tries to come out from time to time, and every once in a while I'll get caught in a pity me or why me or oh my or this sucks sort of attitude. I think I've just gotten a lot better at catching myself and laughing about things and letting go of the fear and finding things to be grateful for. Oh, that feels good. Can I have a little bit of a sore throat, a little clogged chest? It was tough. It was tough, being in Yellowstone for me. It was tough. Um, as I was leaving, and a lot of people were asking me, did we leave amicably? And yeah, we left really amicably. It's funny that, I don't know if you can have relationships with corporations or, how much you should care about relationships with corporations. But the people were good to me, and they fulfilled their promises. I lived in a beautiful spot in the world, and I had a job, and I had a roof over my head, and I was fed. Uh, and I think in this sort of economy where housing's expensive and good jobs are, sometimes harder to find than most people know. Um, I think that's going to be a good opportunity for a lot of people, or is a good opportunity for a lot of people. And I'm not plugging them, and I don't get paid, I don't think. But again, if anybody's wondering how to get a job in a national park, there are companies that run the business side of various national parks. And I work for a company called Xanterra, Xanterra. And the website's just for fun. Check it out. See where you could work if you're looking for a job or looking for a home or whatever. Uh, Go to Xanterra Jobs, XanterraJobs.com. And they have offered opportunities at various national parks. And it's been a really neat experience. I left early, but it's still been a really neat experience. And I'm going to have stories to tell and memories to smile at for the rest of my life. And a little cash in the bank, and there was a roof over my head, and my tummy was fed, and I covered my financial responsibilities. So overall, I'd say it was a great experience. It's challenging though living in a national park because there's not many people. 95% of the people you see are tourists just passing through, and the other 5% are a set group of the couple hundred employees they have working there. That you're going to be sharing dorms and bathrooms and cafeterias with for the next several months. So it's an interesting experience for sure. Good morning, Jake Sab. User wanted to know what I was doing in Yellowstone. I was waiting tables. I've waited tables a few times in my life. And first time was in college, then shortly after getting married, and then after my first divorce. And honestly, I'm 55 years old. I'll be 56 in a couple weeks. I wasn't sure I could still do it because it's more physical the job than most people know. You're standing and you're walking around, and if you struggle with anxiety, you're worried about every table and every customer and what have you. Um, but I wasn't sure I could do it, and or that my body would physically hold up uh, to it. And so I went off to Yellowstone and went off to Yellowstone and started waiting tables there. And they put my body to the test. The first week, I was working like 10 hours a day, 7 days straight over that. And I was hurting and I was moaning and I was in a haze and I was tired and I was worn out. But I got through it and worked another couple months. And, now that I'm out of the park and I'm in civilization, I look back with a smile. I look back with a smile. It's a little more coffee. Oh. I think the toughest thing for me about Yellowstone is we lived in a small community of people and that surrounded by centered around a hotel. And there's various little pockets in Yellowstone. Each has a place to stay for tourists, and most of them have, Old Faithful has a hotel, and Mammoth Hot Springs has a hotel, and Lake Yellowstone has a hotel, and what have you. Hold on here. All right, hold on here. I'm doing a public service. And I just did a public service. Some people come on. I don't know why. Some people come on and, I don't know. I guess people look at social media for different reasons. Some people go on to find camaraderie or somebody to share something with or somewhere to learn something. And some people come on for trouble. And I'm not totally sure why. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. It was an interesting experience. It was a cool experience. And if anybody's looking for a job or looking, I tell you what, the money was shockingly good. The money was shockingly good. And I'm not saying it to brag because, I'm still trying to keep my head above water as a twice divorced guy. But we made more money than I knew you could make waiting tables. And the prices on the food were fairly expensive. The average entree was probably $35. And, we do a $1,500 in sales on a night shift and walk out with $250 a night, which was shocking to me. Because I hadn't waited tables in many, many years. And last time I did was probably 11 years or 10 years ago at Outback Steakhouse when the Outback Special was $9.99. Did I go through Sturgis? Sturgis is down the road. From me. It's about 284 miles away. I have, how far do I have? 1,150 miles. I need to be there. I don't need to be, but I really want to be where I'm headed by Tuesday night. And leaves me about 300 miles of riding each day. 284 miles from now is Sturgis. I think it'll probably be crowded in Sturgis and filled with Harley Davidsons and a lot of people on two wheels wearing leather coats and wearing bandanas with long beards. And although I'm also on two wheels, I don't have a long beard, I don't have a bandana, and my scooter's a heck of a lot quieter than the Harleys that'll be raging through Sturgis over the next week. But I probably will stop in, maybe do an obligatory picture with me on my scooter in front of a Sturgis town sign or something like that. Post it on various scooter pages that I belong to. Maybe get a chuckle out of that. And, hold on here. Decline. And that'll go away on its own. People ask to join the live a lot. I never really understand that. What made me shave my head? God decided. I think God decides a lot of things. Wait, hold on. Dana said I stopped going to Sturgis 10 years ago. Everyone got old, including Dana. Dana must ride. Dana must ride. Yeah, no, I get it. Everyone, yeah. What made me shave my head? My hair started thinning when I was in my 20s. I was working as a stockbroker in downtown Chicago and had a stressful job. And I'm not sure if the stress caused my hair to thin, but it certainly didn't help. And my hair started thinning, and I'd start shaving it down, going shorter and shorter. And one day I said, hey, let's get out a razor and do it this way. And I haven't gone back. And I really don't miss having hair at all. I really don't miss having hair at all. Uh, yeah. How old am I? I'm 55. I'm going to be 56 in about 2 weeks. It's going to be nice to be home, or at least in Chicago. Kind of scary. It's kind of scary because I don't have, and again, there's lots of things in life to worry about. There's lots of things in life to worry about. I've applied for a couple jobs back in Chicago area, a couple higher end restaurants. How I was saying this earlier, I didn't know that my body would hold up or I could be a waiter at a high level, but I learned I could. And I learned I'm a good waiter, and I work hard, and I have a positive attitude, and I'm not perfect, and I know what I struggle with. But either way, I realized I could. And once I knew I could, I know there's nice restaurants that would probably appreciate an older guy working there. And I have beautiful kids waiting for me back in Chicago. I don't know if they're waiting for me, but living their life without their dada. And their dada doesn't want them. I mean, he wants them living their life and living their best possible life. But I want to be back with my kids as soon as possible. Was I an actor? No. No. I was never an actor. I tried out for Sound of Music in the 7th grade play, and I did a bad job of singing "So, a Needle Pulling Thread." So I was cast as an extra. And I did my best to be the best extra I could on the 7th grade Sound of Music at Herrick Junior High in Downers Grove, Illinois. It's still dark out. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. Wondering what today holds. Wondering what today holds. Again, if you let your mind run wild, you think of bad weather and running out of gas and flat tires and bike issues and gravelly roads and scary stuff. But looking back on life, I don't remember the scary stuff. I remember yesterday, again, Montana, very sparsely populated state. And I was avoiding the highway, and they had these well-paved frontage roads along the interstate with nobody on them. And it felt so good to be going at a little faster pace and feeling a little more confident and comfortable, and riding my scooter down these empty, beautifully paved country roads. I'm looking forward to doing that again. And I got 3 or 4 more days ahead of that in front of me. Then I'm going to go home and see my kids, see my sister, see my dad, see my brother, see his wife, his daughter, all my kids, all my sister's kids, and pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about that. And again, I don't know. I have short-term housing set up, and I have applied to a couple different places. But I know I'll be okay. I know I'll be okay. I've been through a lot. I've done a lot. I know what I can do. I know what my strengths are, and I know a few of my weaknesses for sure as well. But I know I can go in and sit down with a business owner or restaurant manager and present myself in a professional fashion, and work real hard and have a great attitude and do a good job, and be an asset to the company that hires me. And it feels good having that confidence. And it feels good knowing things are going to be okay and that things happen for a reason and that I have more blessings than struggles, and knowing that I'm not alone and being thankful for this coffee and not being afraid of every corner. So let's have a little more coffee. Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Immediately, my mind's going, I wonder if there'll be coffee left in the carafe downstairs. I wonder if there'll be coffee left in the carafe downstairs. I've got probably 2/3 of a cup left. And if you go through your day worried that they might be out of coffee downstairs, or worried about every little thing that could happen, life's tough. And if you go through the day thinking of how fortunate you are to have a nice hot cup of coffee in your hand and a bed I can lay back down to and rest for maybe an hour or two more before I hop on the road and head off to South Dakota, life's a lot more fun. So I'd encourage you to do the latter. Oh. Hello, Steve Sam Marr. How are you? Hello, Admiral. How are you? Hello, Kelly. How are you? Hello, News on TikTok. I wonder if News on TikTok really puts the news out on TikTok. Just news clips. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. It's valuable. Sometimes if you live in a national park, you lose touch of the news. And even when you're in a national park that has a eruption and a geyser, you don't hear about it through the park. You hear about it through social media. It's kind of funny. It used to be news would spread word of mouth, and then we all tuned into TV. But if we weren't in front of a TV or a radio, we wouldn't know about it. But now we all have a news channel and phone and entertainment and in our hands and in front of us right now. So, oh, it feels good. That feels good. But it's Saturday morning. I am excited about my day. I am excited about my day. And I'm not in a big rush. I know I want to get 300 miles, a highway covered. I know I'm going to cross the state line into South Dakota, God willing. I know I'm going to meet new people, see new places, be on new roads, paved or unpaved, and have new experiences. And I'm looking forward to them all. Just got to pack up my room, drop off the keys at the front desk, and head out to my bike that's sitting parked outside, and pack up my bike and climb on and head off on the highway. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to heading home and seeing my kids and seeing my friends and seeing my family and seeing Starbucks on every corner, and options that are available. I'll tell you before I go, the hard thing about national parks, if you're looking for options in life, if you're single, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for a place to eat, you're in a very set community with the same small pocket of people and the same restaurant to eat at, or the same cafeteria, or the same dorm to live in, or the what have you. And it is fun just being on the outside and riding by. I rode by a Jeep and there was a sign on it yesterday that said for sale. And it goes, oh, having possibilities that maybe I could buy a Jeep. I don't even want a Jeep, but I thought, hey, maybe I could. I wonder how much they're asking. Or you drive by a business and you're going, hey, maybe they're hiring, or maybe I could work there. Or you drive by a condo building, which I did in Big Sky yesterday. I'm going, hey, I wonder what rent is there. Or I wonder what they sell those places for. Or, hey, that's a nice looking girl at the coffee shop. I wonder if she's married. And it's just nice in life being out and experiencing all those feelings again. Um, yeah. And I'm excited to be headed off into a life where I have choices and I have options and I have jobs to choose from and places to stay to choose from and dining options and people to meet options. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So let's have a little more coffee. Mm. Been kind of a quiet crowd on TikTok this morning. I'm going to alternate between TikTok and um, Instagram over the next bit till I and see how it goes. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. I have audiences on both sides, and if you like me here, please cross over and join me there. And hopefully, the people over there will join me here. And uh, somebody is saying Man City is the best. Soccer fans are really, really crazy fans. Thank you, Noah. There was a Manchester City, probably I don't know, I'm not a soccer fan or a football fan, but probably the biggest soccer team in the world, I'm going to guess. Um, Post little clips of the action. And in one, a guy tried to shoot a goal, and it went over the goalpost and into the audience, the soccer ball. And there was a guy in the crowd that took his head and headbutted it and went, ah. And apparently that guy looked a lot like me. Apparently the guy looked a lot like me, and he was bald, and he had a black coat on, and I got a black coat. But I had so many people hopping on, going, "Hey, you look like that guy that did that. Are you the guy that was at the Manchester game?" And that was a great headshot, great header. I don't even know the terms. I'd be scared that the ball would hurt me. The ball probably would have hurt me if I was that guy. So I thought that guy was pretty tough. And I appreciated any comparison I had to that dude. Because that dude looked tough. Probably was tough. Probably a bar brawler in Britain. I don't know. Who knows? Mm. But anyway, again, it's Saturday morning. And I hope you're feeling good. I hope your weekend's starting off well. I hope you had a great, great night's sleep. I hope you're excited about your day. I hope you're doing your best to live in the moment. Again, I've talked a lot about what lays ahead and the road that lays ahead. Um, but I hope when you start feeling anxious and you start feeling worried that you catch yourself and realize that you're drinking coffee and you're sitting on a soft chair, and the future, we don't know what it holds. And I hope if you're feeling afraid like I was this morning as I was getting out of bed, and you're wondering about everything that could go wrong, I hope you have the same voice inside your head that tells you to do not fear, because that fear is not going to do you any good. And I hope as you're walking through your life and your day to day, and you're seeing some things that don't look the way you'd like them, or you're experiencing things that aren't the exact way you want them or wish they would be. And it happens to me, and I'm only preaching because I know. Hope you turn your thoughts around and think about the things you're grateful for and the things that are going right in your life and the blessings that you have and the love in your heart and the sun in the sky. And yeah, I hope you do that, and your day's going to go a lot better. So one more sip of coffee. Where am I headed to? I'm headed to Chicago. I'm going to make it to South Dakota. I'm hoping to get to Sturgis or slightly beyond today. I have 300 miles in my future of riding along the highway that is life. I'm going to be riding my Suzuki Bergman 400 scooter. I'm going to be stopping in some small towns, getting gas and meeting people and stopping by coffee shops and stopping for lunch and stopping for dinner and finding hopefully a clean hotel to stay in tonight and to come at you tomorrow from, and to get a good night's sleep and to rest my body and rest my mind and get rejuvenated for the day ahead and for life that's ahead. And yeah, I hope you're looking forward to your day. I want to thank you so much for joining this morning, this early Saturday morning. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you are. Oh, thank you. Whoever's sending me the hearts, thank you for all those hearts. I appreciate you. And I want to thank you all for joining and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.